Good morning, my friends. Happy Friday. You know what? Today is going to be a mighty good day. It's going to be a great day today. Fantastic. All right. March 10th. The tribes east of the Jordan, Numbers 32, 1 through 42. The tribes of Reuben and Gad owned vast numbers of livestock. So when they saw the lands of Jazer and Gilead were ideally suited for their flocks and herds, they came to Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the other leaders of the community. They said, "Notice the towns of Adaroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elias, Sibmah, Nebo, and beyond. The Lord has conquered this whole area for the community of Israel. It is ideally suited for all of our livestock. If we have found favor with you, let us please have this land as our property instead of giving us land across the Jordan River." "Do you intend to stay here while your brothers go across and do all the fighting?" Moses asked the men of Gad and Reuben. "Why do you want to discourage the rest of the people of Israel from going across the land the Lord has given them? Your ancestors did the same thing when I sent them to Kadesh Barnea to explore the land. After they went up to the valley of Eshcol and explored the land, they discouraged the people of Israel from entering the land the Lord was giving them. Then the Lord was very angry with them, and he vowed, 'Of all those I rescued from Egypt, no one who is 20 years old or older will ever see the land I swore to give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for they have not obeyed me wholeheartedly.' The only exceptions are Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzite, and Joshua, son of Nun, for they have wholeheartedly followed the Lord." The Lord was angry with Israel and made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the entire generation that sinned in the Lord's sight had died. But here you are, a brood of sinners, doing exactly the same thing. You are making the Lord even angrier with Israel. If you turn away from him like this and he abandons them again in the wilderness, you will be responsible for destroying this entire nation. But they approached Moses and said, "We simply want to build pens for our livestock and fortified towns for our wives and children. Then we will arm ourselves and lead our fellow Israelites into battle until we have brought them safely to their land. Meanwhile, our families will stay in the fortified towns we build here, so they will be safe from any attacks by the local people. We will not return to our homes until all the people of Israel have received their portions of land. But we do not claim any of the land on any other side of the Jordan. We would rather live here on the east side and accept this as our grant of land." Then Moses said, "If you keep your word and arm yourselves for the Lord's battles, and if your troops cross the Jordan and keep fighting until the Lord has driven out his enemies, then you may return when the Lord has conquered the land. You will have fulfilled your duty to the Lord and to the rest of the people of Israel, and the land on the east side of the Jordan will be your property from the Lord. But if you fail to keep your word, then you will have sinned against the Lord, and you may be sure that your sin will find you out. Go ahead and build towns for your families and pens for your livestock, but do everything you have promised." The men of Gad and Reuben replied, "We, your servants, will follow your instructions exactly. Our children, wives, flocks, and cattle will stay here in the towns of Gilead, but all who are able to bear arms will cross over to fight for the Lord, just as you have said." So Moses gave the orders to Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders of the clans of Israel. He said, "The men of Gad and Reuben who are armed for battle must cross the Jordan with you to fight for the Lord. If they do, give them the land of Gilead as their property when the land is conquered. But if they refuse to arm themselves and cross over with you, they must accept the land with the rest of the land of Canaan." The tribes of Gad and Reuben said again, "We are your servants, and we will do as the Lord has commanded. We will cross the Jordan into Canaan fully armed to fight for the Lord, but our property will be here on this side of the Jordan." So Moses assigned land to the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and half the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph. He gave them the territory of King Sihon of the Amorites and the land of Og of Bashan, the whole land with its cities and surrounding lands. The descendants of Gad built the towns of Dibon, Adaroth, Arior, Etroshophan, Jazer, Jogbehah, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran. These were all fortified towns and pens for their flocks. The descendants of Reuben built the towns of Heshbon, Eliah, Kiriathaim, Nebo, Baal-meon, and Sibmah. They changed the names of some of the towns they conquered and rebuilt. Then the descendants of Machir, of the tribe of Manasseh, went to Gilead and conquered it, and they drove out the Amorites living there. So Moses gave Gilead to the Macharites, descendants of Manasseh, and they settled there. The people of Jair, another clan of the tribe of Manasseh, captured many of the towns in Gilead and changed the name of that region to the towns of Jair. Meanwhile, a man named Noba captured the town of Kenath and its surrounding villages, and he renamed the area Noba after himself. Remembering Israel's journey, Numbers 30 through 1 through 56. This is the route the Israelites followed as they marched out of Egypt under the leadership of Moses and Aaron at the Lord's direction. Moses kept a written record of their progress. These are the stages of their march, identified by the different places where they stopped along the way. They set out from the city of Ramses in early spring on the 15th day of the first month, on the morning after the first Passover celebration. The people of Israel left defiantly in full view of the Egyptians. Meanwhile, the Egyptians were burying all their firstborn sons, whom the Lord had killed the night before. The Lord had defeated the gods of Egypt that night with great acts of judgment. After leaving Ramses, the Israelites set up camp at Succoth. Then they left Succoth and camped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. They left at Etham, turned back towards Pi-Harath. That came out a little ridiculous. Opposite Baal-zephon and camped near Migdol. They left Pi-Harath and crossed the Red Sea into the wilderness beyond. Then they traveled for 3 days into Etham wilderness and camped at Marah. They left Marah and camped at Elam, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They left Elam and camped beside the Red Sea. They left the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. They left the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. They left Dophkah and camped at Alush. They left Alush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. They left Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They left the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth Hattava. They left Kibroth Hattava and camped at Hazeroth. They left Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. They left Rithmah and camped at Rimmon Perez. They left Rimmon Perez and camped at Libnah. They left Libnah and camped at Risa. They left Risa and camped at Kehalath. They left Kehalatha and camped at Mount Sephir. They left Mount Sephir and camped at Heradah. They left Heradah and camped at Machaloth. They left Machaloth and camped at Tahath. They left Tahath and camped at Terah. They left Terah and camped at Mithkah. They left Mithkah and camped at Heshmanah. They left Heshmanah and camped at Moseroth. They left Moseroth and camped at Benajakan. They left Benajakan and camped at Hor-Hagadad. They left Hor-Hagadad and camped at Jothbatha. They left Jothbatha and camped at Abranah. They left Abranah and camped at Ezion-Geber. They left Ezion-Geber and camped at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. They left Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor at the border of Edom. While they were at the foot of Mount Hor, Aaron the priest was directed by the Lord to go up on the mountain, and there he died. This happened in the midsummer on the first day of the 5th month of the 40th year after Israel's departure from Egypt. Aaron was 123 years old when he died there on Mount Hor. At the time, the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev in the land of Canaan, heard that the people of Israel were approaching his land. Meanwhile, the Israelites left Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah. They left Zalmonah and camped at Punan. They left Punan and camped at Oboth. They left Oboth and camped at Abiram on the border of Moab. They left Abiram and camped at Dibon Gad. They left Dibon Gad and camped at Almon Diblathaim. They left Almon Diblathaim and camped on the mountains of the East River near Mount Nebo. They left the mountains of the East River and camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River across from the Jericho. Along the Jordan River, they camped at Beth Jeshemoth as far as the meadows of Acacia on the plains of Moab. While they were camped near the Jordan River on the plains of Moab, opposite of Jericho, the Lord said to Moses, "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you cross the Jordan River into the land of Canaan, you must drive out all the people living there. You must destroy all their carved and molten images and demolish all their pagan shrines. Take possession of the land and settle in it, because I have given it to you to occupy. You must distribute the land among the clans by sacred law and in proportion to their size. A larger portion of land will be allotted to each of the larger clans, and a smaller portion will be allotted to each of the smaller clans. The decision of the sacred law is final. In this way, the portions of land will be divided among your ancestral tribes, but if you fail to drive out the people who live in the land, those who remain will be like splinters in your eyes and thorns in your side. They will harass you in the land where you live, and I will do to you what I had planned to do to them." All right. I did too, Shirley. That's why I started a little late this morning. I overslept. Oopsie. That's all right. All right, March 10th. In Unshakable. It's day 69. All right. Discern your purpose. Exodus 9:16. I have raised you up for this very purpose, that I might show you my power, and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. If you have been struggling with uncertainty about what unique gifts you bring to the table of life, here are a few questions you can ask yourself to successfully determine God's dreams for your life. Number 1, was it that I've been good? What is it that I've been good at since an early age? Number 2, what do others look at me doing that would be hard for them but seems effortless to me? Number 3, what is it that I consistently find myself sharing about or helping others with? Number 4, why do I think God created me? Number 5, what am I most passionate about? Number 6, what things enrage me and what problems in the world do I have passion over above all others to solve? Number 7, what subjects could I talk about for hours and hours without a loss of momentum? What spiritual truths and subjects have been those that most bear witness to me and speak life to me? Over the course of the day, reflect on your answers. I believe as you do this, you will begin to see how your specific destiny is a God-ordained puzzle piece that fits perfectly into His purpose. You'll begin to discover His dreams for you. Oh my word. Lord, thank you for the unique gifts you've given me. Please give me insight and guidance on how to use them best. Right, Faith? Seriously, that was written to me specifically for March 10th, specifically for today. That was 100% written to me for today. Wow. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and end in a word of prayer. Father in heaven, thank you so much for today. Thank you for Friday. Thank you specifically for this day for me. I am so grateful for what you are doing in my life. I am so grateful for the opportunities you put before me and the leading in your life, in my life. You're leading in my life. I pray that you will be with us all today as we go about whatever it is we're doing. Keep our eyes focused on you, and may we glorify you in everything we say and do. In your precious name I pray. Amen. For real, Vicki Dodson. Holy cow. All right, guys, I am going to be live for breakfast in just a few minutes, and I'm going to make a special, exciting announcement. I was going to send an email with my announcement, but I'm going to do it later because I overslept. All right. I'm going to be live for breakfast in just a few minutes. I think I'm going to make something simple again today. My kitchen is an upheaval. I mean, upheaval. I have a pineapple that's been sitting there for a long time that is possibly rotten in parts. We'll see if I can salvage it. I might just have some cottage cheese pineapple bowls. I might just do that. But I have a special announcement, so I'll be live in just a minute. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you back tomorrow for devotions. Bye, guys.